Hey everyone, in this lesson you're going to get your very first project assignment by creating lyrics for the song Amazing Grace. And we're going to end up with something that looks a lot like this group of slides right here, and our first document will end up over here in our library. So to begin with, we need the lyrics, right? Well, those lyrics could be on a Word document much like this, and you could import this document directly into ProPresenter, which I'll show you in a moment. The easier way to do this is to copy and paste. So I'll mouse click and drag and I'll copy all this text. Of course, after I highlight it, then I can push Command-C on my keyboard to copy. I'll move this document out of the way. I'll come back over here to ProPresenter, navigate up here to my top menu, mouse click on the word File, Import text from clipboard, just like that. And this import dialog box will open. And for the most part, you want to leave items alone, for instance, or if in slides delimited by you want something different than line break, you could select by paragraph, but let's leave it on line break. This box pertains to how many lines of lyrics you'll have per slide. So here at Saddleback, we like to have 1 or 2 lines of lyrics. So let's leave this number at 2. The document size by default is good because ProPresenter has already figured out our output resolution. The category you can change if you'd like by clicking on this button. And of course, you can change the template by clicking on that down arrow and going with one of their pre-made templates or staying with the default. And I would say most of the time you're going to click or stay with the default if you're a ProPresenter operator for Saddleback Church. Now the destination of this document will end up in the library unless you want to change that to something else, but leave it on library only and then click on the edit button. And from the top down, you want to type in the title of the song, the artist, author, and copyright anytime you can. You want to add all this information and make sure display copyright information is on. And of course, if you have the copyright year and the song number, if you're getting it, or if you're getting these lyrics from a professional service. Now, this is the Reflow editor, and it's pretty simple. The lyrics are on the left, and the slides on the right contain all the lyrics. So for instance, this group in 1 is the first slide. And for the most part, this is done. If you copy and paste from a Word document and it's this clean, it's just the lyrics, this is what you're going to get. And when I select the import button here in the top right-hand corner, we are more or less done. Wow, that was really quick. Notice over here in our library, here is our new document. Over here is our slides for the song. And of course, when the worship team is singing this song, that's when you click on these slides to make these appear for the congregation. Now, if you want to make a change to these slides, for instance, if the lyrics are in the wrong place or you don't like the font size or the color, that's actually pretty easy to do. You can control click on the first one is what I recommend, and then navigate to the edit slide option from the drop down menu. And of course, over here on the left, you'll see all the slides here, but on the right is the area where you'll be making the changes. Now, you could add text by clicking on this option here. You can add a rectangle color to the background if you'd like. You can draw if you'd like. You can add a photo to this particular slide. You can even add video or a live video feed. As a matter of fact, what we do here at Saddleback, and I would assume at most locations, you would want to see the lyrics on the bottom center if there's going to be a live shot of the worship team, right? So let's start to make those changes. And that's done over on the right over here. So make sure the letter A tab has been selected. And let's select our text. So mouse click and drag to select the text. And let's change the placement first. So we could change the font here and some options here. Even the font size, we'll do that in a moment. But here are the 2 areas where you want to make changes to the placement. We can center justify by clicking on that. And then we can drop the line of lyrics to the bottom, just like that. And if you like this area here, or if you like where it's at, you want to take a look at a preview of that, you can click on show, and then it updates over here in the preview window and we can see where it's going to end up, and that looks good to me. With everything selected in this first slide, I can then navigate over to apply all, and it updates all the slides. Wow. What if I wanted to change the font color or the font size? Well, I can navigate over here to this little box over here, click on that, and let's select yellow. I'll close that out. Let's change the font size. Just to make it large, we'll go with 75, enter. You can see that it increased the size here. And then I'll navigate over here to apply all. And that updated all the other slides. Look at that. So now let's close this out by clicking on the X. And now all the slides have been updated. Very nice. Let's save our work by clicking on File, Save All, or you can push Command S. What if I wanted to add a background to these lyrics? Well, down here in your video image bin, you could add a background by clicking on something down here. But look how hard that is to see. So let's go with a different background. Which means if you wanted to, you could take a particular background from the video image bin, drag it up, and look for the aqua line. That's where the background will be placed if you let your mouse go. And now this background will travel with this set of lyrics, and it'll remain in this document, which is very convenient. And of course, you could always select a playlist or create a playlist down here and drag this down into the playlist, and then that becomes a part of your playlist for this particular event or weekend service. Okay, let's import a Word document. Now it's a different song, but I want to show you that process too in order to get lyrics into ProPresenter as an option. So let's navigate up to our top menu, mouse click on the word File, Import, Import File. Now I'm going to locate a Word document on my desktop. This one is Your Love Awakens Me. And of course I have the same import dialog box that will open asking me a few things, but let's leave it the same way it was for that first song where we have 2 lines of lyrics per slide. The resolution and the category is all good. I'm not going to change the template, and I do want the document to go to the library. Then I'll mouse click on Edit. Now before I go any further, we're right back in the Reflow editor, but things look a little different. We're going to have to do some editing over here on the left. What I want to show you is what the Word document looks like. This happens to be a song scan. Now we create these for the worship team. Someone took a lot of time and a lot of energy to create all this extra information for the worship team, which is very helpful and useful to the worship team. But for you, the ProPresenter operator, there's a lot of stuff here that you don't need. For instance, anything in red, anything in yellow or bold, you don't need. Now we do need the credit information, which you could paste at the top of the Reflow editor, like I mentioned on the first import for Amazing Grace. But basically what you want to do is one of 2 things. You can import this document just the way it is, which is what I've done, and I want to pick up at the Reflow editor in just a moment. But you could do some editing in here in the Word document and clean all this stuff out. For instance, anything in yellow or red could come out so that it looks a lot like the Amazing Grace document. Then you can copy and paste that and bring that in to ProPresenter. But I do want to show you how to do some editing in case you just bring all this in, this Word document directly into ProPresenter. So I'm going to move this over to the right, just like that. We'll continue over here in ProPresenter. And this is what it all looks like when you import a Microsoft Word document that is a song scan from our team, from our worship team. There's a lot of extra information. So for instance, slide number 1 has the title of the song, the author, and the artist, which we need up here, which you could add. In fact, you should add all that information up here, but just for the record, this all should be here for Saddleback. Anytime you use a template type of document with a word scan of information, you want to make sure this information is up here. Okay, so down below is we need to clean things up. There's a lot of stuff here that we don't need. So I'll start with this top item here. I'll mouse click and drag to delete. Then I'll push delete just like that. Mouse click and drag, delete. That's how you clear stuff out. So slide 1 and 2 are now empty. See that? And I'll do the same thing here. Mouse click, delete. Mouse click, drag, delete actually. Now I have 4 or 5 slides that are empty. What if I want to get rid of slides? Well, I could just click in an empty slide, push delete, 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 and I'm deleting all the way. It's nice to have one blank slide every once in a while, so we'll leave that there. Now, slide 2, which is over here on the right, has verse 1 and the name of the lead singer for this song. Well, let's mouse click in, drag to select, and then push delete. And then we'll click to the left of this line of lyrics, delete, so that brings it up center. See over here on the right? And then let's add this line of lyrics up to that slide. Right now they're in 2 slides. See this? So I'll place my cursor at the left of this line of lyrics and I'll push delete. And look at that. Now I have 2 lines of lyrics in that first slide. That's the goal for each slide, by the way. So I just continue. I click, delete, click, delete, delete twice. Look how that's over to the right a little bit. Every slide has to be identical. This one is too. See that? You got to look real closely. Every single slide, when it dissolves into the next, needs to be consistent. You can't have 1 space or 2 or 3 different from other slides. So let's mouse click, delete. Now I'm not going to do this to every single slide, but I just want to give you the idea. There's something else. Pre-chorus, I don't need that. So delete, click, delete, delete. See that? So this just takes a little bit of practice. You'll get really fast at this real quick. It's not that bad. And this will be the last one. So delete, delete. When I'm done, then I can navigate up to the import button, click on that, and there we go. There are all the slides for this song. Here's the document in my library, and I'm ready to go with this. I could clear all, and I could bring in a different background if I want, and I could start the worship with the worship team. I could start these lyrics with the worship team. So that's it for your first project. You're now ready to move on to your next lesson.